So the first thing activity 1.5 asks us to do is determine the average rate of change between 3 and 3 plus h for our function s of t here. So let's set up our difference quotient. So it's going to be s of 3 plus h minus s of 3 all over h. Now let's apply our function to our difference quotient. So 3 plus h is going to be 3 plus h, the quantity squared, minus s of 3, which is 3 squared, which is 9, all over h. Now we're going to simplify this as much as possible. So first thing, 3 plus h squared is not 3 squared plus h squared. That has to be FOILed out. And we've done some foiling in here before, so foiling out, and you can double check this, is 9 plus 6h plus h squared minus 9 all over h. Notice we got a positive and negative 9. Those cancel. And now in the numerator, I can factor in h out. H times 6 plus h all over h. Those cancel. And so a very nice simplified formula for us is just 6 plus h. Now, one way this is so useful is in part B, determine the average velocity between 3 and 3.2. Well, that just means h equals 0.2, and I've got a nice formula that gives me the average velocity in terms of h. So it's 6 plus 0.2, or 6.2. Now, this problem said s is measured in meters and t is measured in minutes. So this is going to be in meters per minute. So that's one advantage of using this difference quotient. Look how quickly I can calculate the average value if all I know is the difference between, or the distance between, the inputs, my h. Okay, lastly, let's go to part C. Determine the instantaneous velocity of the object when t equals 0. This is where we're going to use our limit. We're going to do the limit as h goes to 0 of our average velocity. This whole s of 3 plus h minus s of 3 over h. Now, if I were to plug the 0 in for h, I'd get s of 3 minus s of 3, which is 0 over 0. So I'd get a 0 over 0, or an indeterminate form. Well, as we saw through our simplification, we're doing the limit as h goes to 0 of 6 plus h. This one can be solved via direct substitution, so plugging the 0 in for h, we get 6. And so the instantaneous velocity at 3 is 6 meters per minute.